So I'm going to address the economics of dating. The hardest interview I've ever been on in my life was not my 1-hour interview on LinkedIn, and it wasn't my 4-hour interview for investment banking at JP Morgan. It was actually my 4-hour first date with my now husband, Jim. He asked me questions. I mean, he really cut to the chase. He asked me deep questions like, how many kids do you want? Where do you see yourself in 5 years? What names of children do you prefer? Really simple questions like this. I felt interrogated. So I asked him, what's going on with all these deep questions? Why are you in such a hurry? And he told me that he developed a paradigm over the years after all this dating. It's called the PTO versus the OC. So it's only applicable to people who are looking for the one, looking to get married. And when you're dating, everybody falls into one of two categories, okay? You're either OC, your opportunity cost, like John Mayer, or you're potentially the one, with the potential to become the person you want to settle down with. So, as you're dating these people, you're looking at deal breakers and looking to see, is this person PTO or OC? Well, as soon as you determine that someone is not PTO, they immediately become OC and you're wasting your time. They're keeping you away from finding PTO. Move on, right? So the point is to stay focused on finding the PTO, sort, filter, so that you can eventually find TO. Well, this was so fascinating. Meanwhile, I learned this on the first date. This was so fascinating to me that I really started to think, wow, how can I apply this to my personal life beyond just dating? So I thought, I'm working at a really intense startup, and I don't have much free time. My time is of the essence. So on the weekends, there's a whole host of things that I could do. I could read, exercise, see friends, go bar hopping, see a movie. And usually my friends are suggesting, the genre of movies like sci-fi, all different things like Avatar, and I hate those movies. I'm like the indie flick type person. So when they suggest these things to me, and I think 2 hours in the movie watching, Star Trek 15, that's OC to me. So then I started to think about, could this PTO versus OC theory apply to my career and daily life? And I thought, so my role at GWallet right now is to bring in as much revenue as I can by closing either large accounts, or many accounts that add up to a large amount of revenue. This means I'm on the phone, I'm chasing down publishers and accounts, constantly looking at emails, and just being around regularly, a whole long list of publishers. So one account I've been pursuing has a gatekeeper who asks me 6,000 questions over and over, emails me twice a day. It's just an exhausting process. And I've been thinking, why am I spending all these hours trying to close him when I could be out there spending those same amount of hours trying to close some other relatively easy accounts? So I applied the PTO versus OC paradigm, and I decided to not answer any of his questions, and instead be more intentional about choosing to go after relatively easy accounts that in aggregate added up. I closed those deals, they added up to a larger amount of revenue than I would have closed working with this guy. And it's easier to work with in the long term. So here's what I learned about identifying OCs that you all can kind of use in your own life. Is when you start to work with people, and it seems a lot harder than it really needs to be, and there are tons of obstacles, and there's negative energy, and you just don't see the right fit, you really need to bail out. Be intentional about letting go of those OCs, moving on, staying the course, and moving forward to find your own TO. So I wish you all best of luck finding your TO. And this paradigm was actually developed by Jim. That's my husband.